I'm Lizzy from The Biz, and I'm here interviewing Danielle Greene from CrossFit Lithium. Hey, Danielle.
Hey girl, how are
Uh,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So, to start, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your CrossFit gym?
I started my CrossFit gym by accident. It wasn't a plan. I was a full-time hairstylist at JCPenney Salon for 10 years. I loved it. I fell into CrossFit. My dad got me into it. We both got certified at the same time. We started training out of our garage, and about, I guess, 3 or 4 months into that, we had too many people and it was starting to get cold, so we decided to look for a storefront, and that's how CrossFit Lithium happened. Fast forward 5 years now, we're in business and we're on our second location, which is almost 4,000 square feet. We have about 180 members, and we're doing awesome. CrossFit Lithium is, our community is really strong, and we just like to have a lot of fun and train hard.
That's such a cool story. It's very organic. So here's something that's different about you. You're a woman running a CrossFit gym in a man's world. What is that like?
It's tough for two reasons. One, because I am a girl. I went into business with my father originally, so he did all of the back end stuff, and I kind of took care of all of the training. Um, so now he's not my partner anymore. It's just me. So now I deal with people that thought that it was me and a man, my father, and now just me. So a lot of people really try and take advantage of me all the time, or think that I don't know what I'm doing because I'm a woman, or because I'm very nice. They mistake that for I'm stupid in the business world, which I'm not. So it's definitely challenging. And to most people, I think it's very surprising when I meet them and they ask me what I do, or, oh, you're a coach at CrossFit Lithium? And I tell them I own it. They're like, oh, that's cool.
So how do you handle some of those situations, when you have people that try to take advantage of you? What's your go-to way to handle that?
My go-to is always just standing firm and sticking to my guns. I mean, we have rules for a reason, and I mean, I'm not your mom. I'm not going to let you slide on things, and that's pretty much it. So just kind of sticking to those ground rules.
Cool. And so you were a member of the Biz. How long were you a member of the Biz?
I was a member of the biz for, I want to say, a little over 2 years.
Okay. And before you were in the Biz, what kind of revenues were you seeing on a monthly basis?
We were like, well, number one, I didn't pay attention to my numbers at all. So before we were in the biz, I want to say we were probably like 13,000 a month, and that was just simply auto pays month to month.
Okay. And how soon did you start seeing increases in revenue when you joined the Biz?
Pretty much right away.
Okay. And what's your average monthly revenue now?
Now we are March. We finished at 32,000. Our best so far was, I believe, 35,000, which was October last year. That was our first World's Best Boot Camp month.
Wow, so you've more than doubled your monthly revenue. That's pretty amazing. So what biz tools would you say have helped you the most in increasing that revenue?
Uh, when we first got started, the biggest things that we did right away was we went into agreements or contracts. We don't like to call them contracts because that term scares people away. That, and then a lot of the keep them stuff. So attaboy cards, adding things to the membership so it just wasn't the class. So all the things that really set you apart from the other boxes in your area, as soon as we incorporated them, I mean, the members love them. And then that attracts new people too, because you stand out because you are different.
Very cool. And so you mentioned the World's Best Boot Camp. You're a World's Best Boot Camp licensee, and I know you said that you were making about $13,000 a month. And from what I understand, your first camp, you made close to that in one day with World's Best Boot Camp. Can you talk a little bit about that, why you made the decision to be in the World's Best Boot Camp and how that's impacted your gym?
Yeah. Yeah, making that in one day is silly and very exciting. Uh, when Birch first came out with the boot camp, we had talked about it. I was still partners with my dad at that time, and the requirements were a little bit different then. The boot camps were supposed to be outside. We didn't have enough coaches at that time, so fast forward, I guess that was what, like almost a year later. I was out in Cali for the games, and I went to a biz seminar, and he had talked a lot about the boot camp. So I just kind of figured it's now or never. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger, and that was definitely the best decision that I made by far. On my first enlistment day, well, the awesome thing is one of my coaches, Jen, my good friend, she was with us, and she was talking to another licensee, and he said, oh, don't worry if your first camp is only 8 to 10 people. So she told me that, and then my first camp ended up being 52 people. So that was amazing, and my camps have been just as big pretty much ever since. So the boot campers that upgrade into CrossFit, that's also an additional stream of revenue that you wouldn't have had before too. So it's just ongoing, which is awesome.
That's amazing. It must be really interesting to look back and see that what you made in 1 month is something you made in a day, and probably each camp you're making close to that in a day, which is crazy.
Yep, it's awesome.
So, talking about John Birch, how has he personally helped you as a business owner?
He's helped me a lot. Anytime I needed any type of like, I would always roll ideas off him, or things that I wasn't sure, like big decisions before I was going to make them. I would kind of get in touch with him and ask. He's always right, I have to say, fortunately and unfortunately. um, but yeah, he is super knowledgeable. He's a great businessman, and we came up with I worked closely with him last year for a training program, and I actually incorporated that finally this month into my gym, and that's an extra $2,000 that I'm bringing in just off of that. That's not counting like supplements and all that kind of stuff. So he's great.
And so you've got really good experience with him. What are some misconceptions about the biz and John Birch? Because I know some people are a little bit hesitant at first when they're thinking about joining the biz.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I'm not sure exactly what misconceptions, like what they would be. I didn't really have any before I joined the biz. I just wanted to get into something that was, like kind of guiding me through, because I really wasn't sure what to do. But I would imagine misconception would be you're spending that money for what? For someone to tell you, like how to program, or I don't know, just stupid stuff. But if you own a box and you just run a program that is just classes, you don't have any retail, you don't have any additional programs, you need to get involved with the biz, because they go through all that stuff, and you need that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Danielle. You're a total inspiration to so many people, and that's men and women included. I know there's a lot of men out there that are chasing you, trying to do what you're doing. It's not easy, but you're doing it. So it's, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you another time.
Thanks, Lizzy.